Welcome back to Down in the Den. It's your boy Mars, aka Marlon Beardo, the bearded weirdo, the Stella Rosa Casanova, and the curator of culture. And we are back with another stellar episode with another amazing guest. I want everybody listening on line, watching on YouTube, or wherever you're watching the program to give a big Down in the Den welcome to Black Keef. Brother, how you doing today, man? I'm so excited to have you on the show. How you feeling right now?
Feeling good, man. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Feeling great though, man. Life is good. Can't complain at all right now. Well, ain't no need of complaining. That's how we gonna put it.
Yes, sir. They always say you can complain, but who's gonna listen, right?
Facts, facts.
Man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. I've been checking out your music, man. So it is really an honor. You're extremely diverse, talented, multi-genre artist. That's exactly what we love here in this community. So, man, once again, thank you for gracing us with your presence. We're having a late night interview, so I know you're busy. So if you're ready to get started, I'm ready to get started. You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I ain't rushing too much. I want to be able to give a good interview. But yeah, we can get to it.
No doubt, no doubt. So, one thing that we begin every episode, we begin with the same question. I grew up with two things that meant the world to me, and that was music and comic books. And one thing that I noticed in my probably at this point tens of thousands of comic books that I read, every hero, every villain has an origin story. So, what got you into deciding this is going to be the life for me as a creator, being a creative? What's your origin story?
I just grew up with music all around me for real. Like I'm from the Bronx, grew up in New York in the '90s, really pretty much for the most part, and it was just everywhere. Like my cousins rap, my brother rap, their friends rap. My god brother used to have the turntables mixing, everybody rapping. So it was just always around me. My mom's was always into different kind of music, so I always got different kinds too. It wasn't just rap. It was
Right.
just all kind of music all around me. So man, I get stories told from I was 3 years old rapping in ciphers with, jumping in. And so it just was always in me. Like, it's just part of me, really. Like, that's the funny thing of the origin story. It was really born in me. There is no origin story. Like, before I could remember life, I was doing rap, doing music.
Man, I love that, man. It's I always tell the story. I'm so grateful. My older brother was 10 years older than me. So I never got the wheels on the bus. I never got the, Barney. It was like you're listening to NWA, you're listening to Too Short, you're listening to Easy E, you're listening to Public
Yeah.
Enemy, right from the jump. So we definitely share a connection with that. Now, for those who are watching the Den who might just be getting exposed to you for the first time and unfamiliar with your wave, how would you describe your style in a sentence or two to those who are uninitiated with Black Keef?
So Black Keef is just a raw, uncut, all roller coaster ride of a person, just inspired by the darkness. It's a little bit of joy and light in there as always, but it's just it's a raw look into a man's life.
I love that. I love that. Now, you have some music dropping very soon. Very soon. New music dropping on the 20th. I want to get into it. Tell us about this latest project and what's in store for the fans out there.
All right, so we got this song dropping. It's called "Floating." I love this song. It's really different. I'm always experimenting with new sounds, so I bring something different from anything that y'all have heard already. It's got a sound of its own, and we're actually building towards more. I got a lot more coming. I got a lot more in the works. So, "Floating." It pretty much, it's self-explanatory. Just think of a man floating. He's just in the wind.
Absolutely. And that's, I mean, when you think about that, the first word that comes to mind is freedom. That feeling if you're in a pool. I've never been to outer space. Hopefully one day, Elon, what's up? But I've definitely been in the pool. That feeling when you're floating, it's almost like you're back in the womb. It's almost just like that complete freedom having multiple personas, because of course, you have Black Keef, which you really focus on now, but you also have another persona as Keef Sweatshirt. What type of freedom did you feel by being able to express yourself with multiple personas and multiple genres, to be able to not get pigeonholed into one style or one sound? Can you expound on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot of freedom, man. I love it. Like, for a while, we grew up in the hood and all that shit. We just rap. A lot of people shun out the other stuff. Some even shun out the R&B, but definitely the pop music, the rock music. A lot of time in the hood, it gets shunned out, And I came up listening to all kind of music, rock, all that. You know what I mean? So one day I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make some rock music. And I did it. And it sound good. It got good reception and all of that. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing it. It's a different side of me. It allows me to release some different kind of things. And I mean, even with the pop music, I do more of a pop vibe sometimes. And shout out to my cousin XL Beats out in LA. He really inspired me to just kind of open my bag a little bit. I'm not just a rapper, I'm a lyricist.
I love that. Now, you mentioned earlier growing up in the 90s, and in my opinion, there was no bigger time for pop and rock music than the 90s. That's my era. Who were some artists that kind of inspired you for this new sound? Because, like I said, in the 90s, for me, my favorite rock band of all time is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's that's the end all be all. But there's so many great rock bands from the 90s, 80s, and 70s. Who are some of the artists in the rock genre who really inspire you, or someone that may be surprised that they could find in your iPhone?
So honestly, my biggest inspiration is Linkin Park. To
Lovely.
me,
Peace,
Linkin
Chester.
Park, hey, yeah, facts. To me, Linkin Park's the GOAT though. So like that's my biggest inspiration. A lot of people say that they can hear a similarity in some of the things that I do with, their kind of style. Now, to me that's a compliment. But I mean it's been other things like you said, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blink 182. You got System of a Down. I done listened to some Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath. It's just all of the mixture of everything. Slipknot, Disturbed, some 41. It's everything. I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge. I take something in, and if I like it, it becomes part of my arsenal.
Absolutely. And bring back the rock, man, because I grew up. One of my favorite cartoons was Beavis and Butthead, and that's really how I got into rock music. Watching them
Mhm.
watch videos, then I'd go back and like, oh man, this is actually dope, and it made me more well-rounded as an artist and as a fan of music. So all of those influences are super dope, and I love that. I love that. Now, one thing that we focus on in the Den is not only the creative side, but also the industry side and navigating through the industry, because it can be treacherous. It's a treacherous ocean being in the entertainment industry. Have you had any industry moments that maybe made you question the game, or push you even further to double down on what you're doing? What type of moments or what type of gems could you drop for those out there listening that maybe can help them keep pushing if they've had some type of wall put up or some type of blockade put up on what they're doing?
Um, Honestly, as an artist, I ain't never ran into those situations and stuff like that quite yet because I've gotten other knowledge and I learned how to navigate to the way that best suits me and my needs. You know what I mean? But um, like I said, man, really just shout out to my cousin XL Beats. He been in the game for a long time, and we linked up probably about a decade ago or something like that. And he schooled me to a lot of the inside game. You know what I mean? So I was able to avoid a lot of the different little things that a lot of people would go through. But what I can say is you just got to keep pushing. Like if you really want to do it, you got to keep pushing. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort. It's gonna take money. Very rarely will you get it without really putting in that effort. You just got to keep pushing. You know what I mean? And even if you don't want to be a mega star, if you want to just make that music, keep pushing. You know what I mean? You got to make that strategy. It's all about making it make sense. So keep pushing. You have a strategy. You gain your fans, and that's what it's all about now. How many people can you get to watch you?
Absolutely, building that community, because everybody wants to feel like they belong in something. So that's a gem right there for those out there just starting and wanting to go in this journey. Those two keys: invest in yourself. It's going to take money. It's going to take time. It's going to take energy.
Mm-hmm.
So invest in yourself. Invest in your craft. Learn what you're doing, because I think that's key. Make sure the product is good. Regardless of whatever industry, if the product isn't good, you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to get too far. And after that, make sure you have a marketing strategy, get your team behind yourself, and success will come.
Facts.
Now,
Like you gotta always really you gotta think about it, man. It's repetition. Practice makes perfect. You gotta be able to do that. I'm a big sports guy, and I'm gonna throw a sports analogy, but I'm gonna bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these kids want to shoot like Steph, and they just see the games, they just see him shooting, but they don't see them thousands of jumpers in
yes,
practice every day, thousand. You know what I mean? Like you gotta really put in the work. And it's just like I'll flip it back to the music when these artists pass, they be still having mad music that could release after they pass. And that's just because even with the music you was hearing them put out, they just had mad stuff in the cut. Cause they was just putting in work, putting up practice shots, practice shots. You gotta put in that work. You just gotta make that music.
absolutely. And that's a perfect analogy, because people just see the end product and nobody sees the process that's going in. So you have, you know, 8 year olds going out shooting from half court, not
Mm-hmm.
realizing that no, he's shot the shot 10,000 times before he even stepped on the stage where he can
Exactly.
shoot it in the game. So I think that's an element that's missing. People just see the end product and they don't see the late night interviews. They don't see the marketing plans. They don't see the strategy. They don't see the 10 songs in the deck, or the 10 versions
Mm-hmm.
of the same song before you got it like you like it. So
Mm-hmm.
I have a motto: show the work. And I think if more artists showed the work, it would be not only better for those who want to enter that field, but it would also be better for those who maybe shouldn't enter the field. Because we hear a lot of stuff that probably should have not made it through the cut, but because it's so easy with technology and accessibility, you can go online, buy a beat, put a song on DistroKid, and
It's
boom,
over.
and it's over. And but people haven't really put in the work, and then wonder why the results aren't what they want. So I'm so happy that you made that analogy. What do you think is missing in music right now, and how do you feel you're filling that gap?
I think it's really just like the realness, man. That's what's missing. That's what's been missing. Like everybody put on a persona
Mm,
of who they think the fans want to hear. And not everybody, I ain't gonna lie. Like you do have some people that's kind of authentic. They really a street life person or what, you know what I mean? But for the most part, you got people putting on personas. They just try to sound like what's trending, you know what I mean? And you gotta sound like yourself. You gotta be raw, and that's what I give you. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing but me. Like a lot of times I look back on my own music and I be like, wow, because it bring me back to a time where I was. I could recollect what was going on when I wrote that song through the words. And it's just like, gotta be you.
yeah.
Stop trying to sound like everybody. Find your sound, kick it your way. That's how I go.
No, that's a big fat right there, because I tell people you're never gonna be better at the original at being them. But we're all blessed being the only us that we could be. So you could definitely be the best you, but you're always going to be at best a pale comparison when you're trying to imitate someone.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. Now, you've had in your hip hop persona, you've had some amazing collaborations. I was going through your catalog, and you've had some amazing collaborations. And I believe the best music comes from a collaborative spirit, collaborative effort. Um, Putting in, it's like a big gumbo. If you mentioned you're from the BX, if you come down on the South where I'm from, soul food gumbo is about,
Hmm.
no recipe, just going in there and cooking by heart, and cooking with love, and cooking for love of the game. And I think the best music is the same when it's a collaborative spirit. You're cooking for the love of the game. Are there any dream collaborations that, if you could lock in with a specific artist or maybe a specific producer, who's that dream collaboration that you really want to lock down?
Man, I mean, like on some rock. I don't even know if we done curse this whole time. Is it cool if I curse?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right, because I ain't even really peep it. I was just kind of vibing, but like on some rock shit, like Linkin Park. If I could ever get a collab with Linkin Park, that'd be like out this world. That's probably the only one. On some rap, back in the day, maybe a Hove, but I think I done kind of outgrown. I know, like if I get a Cole or a Kendrick feature, that'll probably be real dope. That'll be something really going crazy. Maybe like an Alchemist beat.
Mm,
I grew up on Alchemist beats, stuff like that. So probably an Alchemist beat and a Cole or a Kendrick feature or both of them. If I get both of them on the same track, that'd be really really wild.
shit, why not shoot for the gold? Them two plus Lincoln Park.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because Lincoln Park is as much as a hip hop culture as they, of course, the
That's
classic.
facts, though.
Yeah, they're hybrid theory. They are the prototype when it comes to that hip hop meets rock collaboration. So hey, I'm always say shoot for the stars, land on the cloud. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
I might have to do it. It'll take a nice ticket, but I think
Hey,
if I could get to that point, I think I'm gonna try to make that happen. That do sound like some monumental. Yeah, man, that'd be crazy.
yeah, I think that investment would be far worth it. So we always here at the Den, we like to customize a little game specifically for the artists that we interview. So we got one for you, and it's called Black or Whack. So if you f with it, it's black. If you say nah, this ain't really for me, it's whack. So if you're ready to play a little bit, let's go ahead and get this game rolling. You ready to rock and roll?
Let's get it. Yeah, we got wages going on. We putting a little money on, or what we doing? Nah, I'm playing.
No, no, it's all for the love of the game, man. It's all for the love of
Yeah,
the
let's
game.
get it.
Yeah, I that gambling. I don't know if y'all ever seen the Flintstones, but when Fred start gambling, he that bet. That's your boy. So I try to stay away from the gambling. I'll be out here in just some socks in a minute. So
It'll be over with for you.
over. All right, so it's black or whack. If you f with it, it's black. If you don't, it's whack. So here's the first one: rapping over a Bjork sample. And if y'all don't know who Bjork is, please check her out. She's a dope Icelandic artist. Is that black or whack? Is that something you would be
Nah,
interested in
nah,
doing?
nah. That's black. That's super black right there. Yeah, that's ultra black.
Love that. Dropping a surprise EP, zero promo, just putting it out there.
That's whack. That's whack. That's whack. And you got to do some kind of promo.
You
Like I
got
ain't
to.
gonna lie. Like even my stuff for the 20th. It ain't the most promo, but hey, you got to do some kind of promo. You got to
You
do
got
some
to.
kind of promo.
If you're not willing to share your art, why do you want anybody to consume it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and a lot of people think just a post is good enough. Now get out there.
Nah, you gotta.
Props.
Yeah, that's whack. That's whack.
All right. I've been loving. It was one of our original den mates is an artist out from Vallejo named La Russell, and he's been getting a lot of press lately for putting on shows in his backyard
Hmm.
and bringing out icons, E40, Richie Rich, you name them, to his backyard. And since then, I've noticed, of course, you got your tiny desk, you got the front porch, and people are really just making events right there in their home. So, black or white, doing black or white, doing like a little tiny desk style performance in your own actual bedroom. What do you feel about that?
Nah, that's black. Especially if you do it right though. You gotta do it right.
Got to
Like
do it right.
like you gotta create a vibe. As long as you create a nice vibe, it's black. You can't just sit on the bed and rap and think, you know what I mean? Like nah, but that's dope right there. That's black.
Yeah, for sure. All right, selling a limited. We see a lot of artists now. It's not just the music; it's coming with a pack. Something, some merch, something this to help move because it's hard to move units nowadays. Selling a limited edition hoodie with your lyrics on the sleeve, black or white.
That's black. That's black. I like that.
Absolutely fresh. And then finally, touring with an all punk band. So you, the mic, and a punk band behind you,
Oh,
black or
that's
white.
super. Oh yeah, nah, that's super black. That's ultra black. I would go crazy. I would go
Crazy.
crazy. Yeah, that would be like live music. That's my thing. Like I would love to play with any kind of live band and be the vocalist. So yeah, super black.
Fresh, fresh. I love it. So let's do a quick closer. I'm all about legacy. You know, there's two things that we leave as a legacy. If you have children, of course, your children, and then your work. Your work is your legacy. When when we all said and done, you mentioned we see artists that pass and they have more albums posthumously than they had while they were alive. So
Hmm.
when it's all said and done, when the dirt's on it, what do you want fans to say about the music that you leave behind?
Man, I just want the fans to say you could really see a story. You could learn a lot. You know what I mean? I try to drop gems. I try to be as transparent as I can. And I think fans will just tell you like, yo, this guy right here, he laid it all out on the line. Whether we appreciated it at the time or not, he did it. He put it out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it, and I tell people all the time, Picasso was not appreciated when he was alive. they,
Mhm.
they thought he was a hack. They thought he was, and now look at it. You got a Picasso. You know, you're a multimillionaire just from having that art. So, brother,
Mhm.
I thank you so much for gracing us with your presence, for sharing your light, your energy, your wisdom, giving those gems. I can't wait for everyone to be able to check out. Once again, please let the people know when the new music comes out and where they can find it.
But first of all, thank you for having me. It's been a great experience. I hope to come back another time one day. You know what I mean? We could just kick it, you know what I mean? But the music drops Friday, this upcoming Friday, June 20th. I got two joints dropping. I got Black Keef floating, and that's just gonna be that you just gotta check that out. Like it's something totally different. Like I love where I went with it. It's a crazy vibe, it's a crazy story. That's Black Keef floating. I also got Keef Sweatshirt, Make a Way, and that one gonna be that's just raw, man. I just really felt like rapping, like just really felt like rapping. Like I really did some shit. Like I can't wait for y'all to hear these. I can't wait for y'all to hear these. That's all I can say, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you to be able to share that with the world. Once again, June 20th, this Friday, two new tracks. We got Floating, we got Make Away, so we got the bars, we got the rock experience. It's a total encompassing experience. Once again, if you haven't checked out his music, it's phenomenal. We're batting 1,000 with the artists that we have, and once again, another home run. Please let the people know where they can find you on social media so they can keep on top of what's going on in your universe.
Social media, I don't even really do too much. I ain't gonna lie. Everything is branded right under the Instagram. Keep Sweatshirt. You're gonna find posts about everything on there. I be on Facebook a lot under the government name. I keep it raw, authentic. Keith Farrell. That's where you're gonna find me at most of the time. Them two spots. Um, as far as music, all platforms, Black Keef. That's Black Keef, Black Keef, Keef Sweatshirt, Keef Sweatshirt. And then if you feel like getting a little romantic, a little something different, lighten the vibe, something for your lady, you got Keefio. That's Keefiyyo. You know what I mean? I give it to them all kind of ways. You find me everywhere.
I love that. I love it. Well, brother, thank you once again for coming in, gracing us with your presence. We're going to
Thank you
make
for
sure,
having me.
absolutely, and welcome to the Den community. We're more than just a platform for artists, we're a community. We're going to make sure that we support everything that you do. We're also going to get you some merch out there. And like I said, man, I can't wait for the world to hear what I've been hearing. And like I said, I see nothing but a bright, extremely bright future for you, brother, because you're phenomenal.
Appreciate you, man. I really appreciate that. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Well, brother, thank you again. We will have you back on. And guys, thank you for tuning in. You know, it's your favorite number one platform for the best artists across the globe. And we thank you for tuning in. We're going to end this episode like we end every single episode. Please remember, it's always about peace, love, unity, and respect. Deuces.